I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
Civil complaint, simply allegations, need to be proven in a court of law. But if true, it could rise to the level of criminality. And, we'll see what happens after the DA looks and investigates.
It was the kind of twist that no one saw coming. A move so unexpected it left the public and industry insiders alike reeling. Just when the world thought the legal heat on Jay-Z couldn't get any more intense, news broke that the rap mogul had been acquitted in the high-profile lawsuit that accused him of unspeakable acts alongside his longtime associate, Sean Diddy Combs. But this wasn't just a simple case of legal maneuvering or airtight alibis. Oh no, the story runs so much deeper. Whispers of a shadowy federal operation, secret deals, and backroom negotiations have sparked an entirely new narrative. What really happened? And how did Jay-Z manage to walk away unscathed while the walls continue to close in on others? Let's break it all down.
And here's the thing. Even if the statute of limitations ran, it doesn't stop her from filing a police report. It doesn't stop her from giving a statement to the police. It still backs up some things. And don't forget, in federal court, he could still be swept up into a RICO. There could be other sorts of actions that took place over time, and all of those would relate back.
From the moment the allegations first surfaced, it was clear this wasn't going to be an ordinary lawsuit. The claims against Jay-Z were damning. The kind of allegations that could ruin reputations, destroy legacies, and send shockwaves through an entire industry. But if the public expected the billionaire rapper to crumble under the weight of these accusations, they were sorely mistaken. Jay-Z came out swinging, vehemently denying the claims and calling out what he described as a calculated attempt to extort him. In statement after statement, he painted a picture of a man under siege, not just by his accuser, but by a broader conspiracy designed to drag him into a web he swore he had no part in.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
But here's where things get interesting. As Jay-Z's legal team battled it out in court, something strange began to happen. The focus of the case started to shift. What initially seemed like a straightforward civil lawsuit began to take on the contours of something much larger and much darker. Behind the scenes, rumors swirled that federal investigators had taken a keen interest in the case, not because of the allegations against Jay-Z specifically, but because of what those allegations might reveal about a broader network of illicit activity. And this is where the FBI allegedly stepped in, setting the stage for a dramatic turn of events.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
According to insiders, the feds saw an opportunity in the lawsuit. They weren't just interested in the claims against Jay-Z. They were looking at the bigger picture. For years, murmurs of a secretive underworld involving high-profile figures in the entertainment industry had been circulating. Allegations of misconduct, exploitation, and power games had cast a long shadow over some of the most celebrated names in music. But while whispers are one thing, evidence is another. The lawsuit against Jay-Z and Diddy, insiders claim, presented a golden opportunity for the FBI to dig deeper and begin connecting the dots. Now, here's the bombshell. Sources close to the case suggest that Jay-Z wasn't just fighting to clear his name. He was also facing intense pressure from federal agents. Allegedly, the FBI approached the rapper with an ultimatum: cooperate with their ongoing investigation and provide information about other high-profile figures involved, or risk being dragged into a much larger legal quagmire. For Jay-Z, the stakes couldn't have been higher. On one hand, he was facing accusations that could tarnish his carefully crafted image forever. On the other, he was being asked to turn on a close associate in what some are calling one of the most high-stakes gambles in modern entertainment history.
He put that gun back in his waist and got caught coming out this club with it. Puff had enough security there.
But why would the FBI go after Jay-Z in the first place? To understand that, you have to look at his connections. Jay-Z and Diddy have a long history together, one that dates back to the early days of their careers. They weren't just collaborators in music. They were partners in building empires, rubbing shoulders at exclusive events and toasting to their shared successes. Over the years, their friendship became a symbol of their mutual rise to the top of the entertainment world. But as the saying goes, the higher you climb, the harder you fall. And for federal investigators, their association was more than just a friendship. It was a potential link in a much larger chain of alleged wrongdoing.
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name?
Right.
Solange. You gotta have the feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
When the lawsuit was amended to include Jay-Z's name, the FBI reportedly saw it as a chance to apply pressure. The reasoning was simple. Jay-Z, with his squeaky clean public image and reputation as a family man, had the most to lose. Unlike others who might be willing to go down swinging, the feds allegedly believed Jay-Z would do whatever it took to protect his legacy, his family, and his billion-dollar empire. And according to those same sources, they were right. It said that negotiations began quietly, behind closed doors. Jay-Z's legal team, led by the aggressive and often controversial Alex Spiro, reportedly worked to broker a deal that would keep their client out of deeper legal trouble. And while the exact details of the alleged agreement remain murky, one thing is clear: Jay-Z's cooperation was a game changer. Some speculate that he provided key information about Diddy's alleged involvement in a series of incidents that federal investigators had been probing for years. Others suggest that Jay-Z's role was more about corroborating evidence the feds already had. Either way, the result was the same. Jay-Z walked out of court a free man, while the spotlight shifted firmly onto Diddy and his alleged co-conspirators.
Understand? I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make a...
Of course, the fallout from this turn of events has been massive. Fans and critics alike have taken to social media to express their shock and disbelief. Some have praised Jay-Z for his ability to navigate what seemed like an impossible situation, while others have accused him of betrayal. The hashtag Jay-Z deal quickly began trending, with users dissecting every move he's made since the allegations first came to light. Meanwhile, legal experts have weighed in, calling the case a masterclass in damage control and crisis management.
It's interesting because, obviously this civil suit was coming for a while.
Yep.
And there was some talk between Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas.
But the real question is, what happens next? With Jay-Z now seemingly in the clear, attention has turned to Diddy, who remains entangled in a web of legal troubles that only seem to grow by the day. And while the FBI's operation is far from over, one thing is certain: the entertainment industry is bracing for more bombshells. If the rumors are true and Jay-Z has indeed agreed to testify or provide evidence in future cases, the ripple effects could be seismic. For now, though, the rapper is staying quiet, letting his legal team and carefully crafted public statements do the talking. As the dust begins to settle, one can't help but wonder about the broader implications of this case. What does it say about the power dynamics in Hollywood and the music industry? How many other high-profile figures might be implicated as the investigation unfolds? And perhaps most importantly, how far was Jay-Z willing to go to protect himself and his empire? These are the questions that will undoubtedly fuel speculation for weeks and months to come.
A lot of times lawsuits are like playing poker. Like even when you feign, that you have strength, it could be that you have some weakness in your case. So Busby's never going to say that he doesn't have the evidence. I mean, Busby's always going to say he's got the evidence. He's always going to say, oh, we're going to look at multiple other people. We're going to do all this, because he wants to put that fear.
And just like that, the story transitions to its next chapter. Jay-Z may have dodged a bullet, but the controversy is far from over. The public is watching, the industry is buzzing, and the players involved are gearing up for what promises to be an explosive continuation of this saga. The stage is set, the stakes are higher than ever, and the world is waiting to see how it all unfolds. The fallout from Jay-Z's acquittal wasn't just a legal victory. It was a cultural earthquake. The decision left people divided, sparking heated debates about justice, loyalty, and morality. The courtroom drama had ended, but the public spectacle was just beginning. While some hailed Jay-Z as a genius for navigating legal and federal hurdles with precision, others saw him in a much darker light. Was he a victim of circumstances, or had he played the system to his advantage, leaving others to take the fall? And what about the victims, the insiders, and the people in his orbit? This wasn't just a legal case. It was a story of power, betrayal, and the secrets that bind some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry.
It's like a short win. It's really much more of a loss for the legal team of Jay-Z and Diddy.
Why would you say that? Because the judge was kind of harsh to Jay-Z and Diddy in her response?
Yeah, this is sort of like, if a child asks you for something and you're trying to teach them a lesson, you say, no, not right now. Go be good for a little while, then come back and ask me again.
As whispers of Jay-Z's alleged deal with the FBI began to spread, the focus shifted from the case's legal intricacies to its human cost. Many wondered how those who had accused him felt as they watched one of the most powerful figures in music walk away, unscathed While Jay-Z's legal team celebrated their victory, reports began to emerge from anonymous sources close to the accuser. These insiders expressed frustration and anger, claiming that the acquittal was a slap in the face to those seeking justice. One source reportedly said, "It feels like the system is rigged for people like him. He has the money, the connections, and the influence. What chance did she really have?" This sentiment was echoed by others who felt that Jay-Z's ability to sidestep the case had less to do with his innocence and more to do with his ability to play the game at the highest level.
And he's gone on to do incredible things, but he has a very specific style. And there's a lot of people who don't like that style. And Judge Torres is one of them. He's now twice kind of taken the reins and tried to take control of the narrative of cases by putting on sort of these preemptive press conferences. He did it with Mayor Adams, and he did it now with Jay-Z, where he goes to the press and essentially puts on a PowerPoint.
The controversy extended further as more details about the case surfaced. Music industry insiders who had observed Jay-Z and Diddy's ascent to power began sharing their perspectives. They described a world where loyalty was treated as a form of currency and betrayal was often wielded as a strategic tool. One former associate characterized the two moguls as inseparable during their early years, emphasizing their mutual support and brotherly bond. However, they pointed out that in the music industry, loyalty often persisted only as long as it served a purpose, and when it no longer did, survival instincts took precedence.
Alex Spiro doing the exact opposite thing to help his client, but the judge really didn't like it. And so all of that is to say that this ruling to me is specifically directed at Alex Spiro, saying, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like all the motions you're filing. I don't like how you're going about handling this case. And if you continue to do it, you're not the only one who's got some tricks up their sleeve. I can also do things to make this process more difficult.
This observation gains significance when considering the history between Jay-Z and Diddy. Their relationship extended beyond mere collaboration. They embodied a new era in hip-hop marked by ambition, sharp business instincts, and an unyielding drive for success. From their joint projects in the late 1990s to their shared appearances at high-profile events, their friendship was as integral to their brand as their music. They were frequently seen celebrating together at exclusive parties, exchanging compliments in interviews and applauding each other's milestones. Yet, according to some, the dynamics behind the scenes were more complex. Insiders suggest that cracks in their friendship were always present. Some argue that Diddy's flamboyant persona and extravagant lifestyle often eclipsed Jay-Z's more understated approach, which relied on letting his work speak for itself. Others point to Jay-Z's rapid rise, culminating in his status as hip-hop's first billionaire, as a source of tension. It is said that Diddy, accustomed to being at the pinnacle of success, struggled with the emergence of Jay-Z's even more expansive empire. In such a fiercely competitive industry, these shifts in power and prominence did not go unnoticed.
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, you know, it is scary because you think, you know, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
And yet, despite these alleged tensions, the two remained publicly united until now. With Jay-Z walking free and Diddy facing a mountain of legal troubles, many are asking whether their friendship was ever genuine or simply a matter of convenience. Could Jay-Z's alleged cooperation with federal authorities be seen as the ultimate betrayal, or was it a necessary step to protect himself and his family? The answer likely depends on who you ask.
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing. Or, you know, when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
For some, Jay-Z's actions are a testament to his intelligence and strategic thinking. Here's a man who has spent decades building an empire, navigating the often treacherous waters of the entertainment industry with skill and precision. From his early days as a streetwise hustler in Brooklyn to his current status as a global icon, Jay-Z has always played the long game. His ability to outmaneuver his opponents, both in business and in life, has earned him a reputation as one of the shrewdest players in the game. He's not just a rapper or a businessman, said one industry veteran. He's a chess master. And in chess, you don't win by playing nice. You win by making the tough moves, even if it means sacrificing a few pieces along the way. But not everyone sees it that way. Critics argue that Jay-Z's intelligence and strategic thinking are precisely what make his alleged actions so troubling. They point to his history of legal and personal controversies, suggesting that this latest chapter is part of a larger pattern of behavior. From his 1999 arrest for a nightclub altercation to his rumored involvement in various behind-the-scenes power plays, Jay-Z has never been a stranger to controversy. And while his supporters argue that these incidents are merely the cost of doing business at his level, his detractors see them as evidence of a man who will stop at nothing to get what he wants.
He was using, allegedly, these events to invite them back to these private mansion parties and hotel parties and God knows what else. But he was utilizing the branded events to be able to, get the girls to come over to his private spaces.
This dichotomy is perhaps best illustrated by Jay-Z's response to the allegations against him. While he has consistently denied any wrongdoing, his public statements have often taken on a defiant tone, as if daring his accusers to prove their claims. In one particularly fiery statement, he wrote, "I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children." For his supporters, these words were a powerful reminder of Jay-Z's roots and his commitment to his values. For his critics, they were little more than a calculated attempt to deflect attention from the accusations.
There is so many people involved in this situation that works the machine here. That, Diddy's obviously the head of the whole situation. The king of parties, but there is multiple other people involved that are helping along the situation or, participating in some way because.
And then there's the question of Jay-Z's other alleged misdeeds. While the recent lawsuit has dominated headlines, it's far from the only controversy he's faced in his career. Over the years, Jay-Z has been linked to a number of incidents that have called his character into question. From his early days in the music industry, where rumors of shady business dealings were rampant, to his more recent legal battles, Jay-Z's past is littered with stories that paint a very different picture from the one he presents to the world. And while many of these stories remain unproven, they have nonetheless contributed to a narrative that Jay-Z is not just a survivor, but a manipulator, someone who knows how to bend the rules to his advantage. As the dust continues to settle, one thing is clear: the story of Jay-Z's acquittal is far from over. With Diddy's legal troubles still unfolding and rumors of further investigations swirling, the spotlight remains firmly fixed on the world of hip-hop and its most powerful players. And while Jay-Z may have won this particular battle, the war is far from over. The entertainment industry is a world of shifting alliances, hidden agendas, and high-stakes games. In this world, nothing is ever as it seems, and the truth is often more complicated than anyone could have imagined.
I agree, and the risk of flight was always going to be a tough argument for the government because obviously Combs voluntarily came to New York. He surrendered his passports through his lawyer. He could have fled after the March raids of his Miami and Los Angeles homes, but he didn't. He has access to 2 private jets. I think it was a tougher argument. I know the government made the argument, but clearly the best argument was the dangerousness and the witness tampering. They had much more evidence.
So what happens next? Will Jay-Z's alleged cooperation with federal authorities lead to more revelations about the inner workings of the music industry? Will Diddy's legal troubles bring down other high-profile figures? And perhaps most importantly, what does this saga say about the nature of power, loyalty, and justice in a world where the stakes are higher than ever? Share your insights and let the discussion begin. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and intrigue. Goodbye for now.